Good morning. Can you go get your chicken? You waited on me for 15 minutes. Then I come out and you leave your food to go to the bathroom. Don's doing the final touch-ups on Ruby.
Yeah, sure am.
Did you find the screw?
Oh, I haven't looked. Thanks for the reminder.
Okay.
But I will do that. I'll go look on the workbench before I spend a lot of time, but it's going to be right there if I drop it.
Yeah. When Don woke up this morning, he was like, where did I leave the screw I removed? Well, she's looking good, Donnie. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie.
I best keep moving. I've got a schedule to keep this morning.
Hello, girl.
I know. Got a schedule to keep this morning. I like summertime. You know, wake up late. Don't have to leave to go anywhere right away. There are a few of those days, right? Hey, Stripey. And Morris is over here eating. He got pets too. Hi. Hello. Good morning, Panther. Good morning. Everything does seem to be in order this morning. And Don said it's like 64. Of course, we're up a little earlier, but it feels pleasant out here. It feels really nice. And my buddy Panther, he's doing good today. I'm supposed to be ready in 5 minutes. It's going to be close. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. Good morning, Gray. Hi. Hi. Okay, it's 7:19. I'm going to load up. Well, Don has Ruby looking excellent. Stripey! Hey, bud. Hi, that's my good boy. My other good boy is on the bench. You guys hold down the fort, okay? Johnny will be out to see you. Oh my goodness. Our ETA to the supercharger in Halifax is about 9:15 a.m. and the report on the construction zone is she still beeps and it looked about the same as it always does. No radical changes over there. Ruby in the left-hand lane on autopilot has tried to get into a left turn lane twice, and we didn't understand why, and Dawn stopped her. I mean, put on her turn signal to get in the lane. Maybe she was trying to get us over to Lake Wheeler Road and we weren't paying attention to try to tell us there was traffic up here or something, but it really doesn't make sense for where we're headed. And yeah, so
And the other thing I've noticed is Elon needs a keep up with traffic mode speed setting, because every time these speed limit signs change or something like that, of course she slows down, but of course the people who are on your bumper, they don't understand why you're slowing down because the car in front of you is flying too. So it's sort of like you either need to quit adjusting the speed. I should have a don't mess with the speed button, and I can just set it to like 80 on a 45, because God knows how fast you're going to have to go to keep up with traffic. But otherwise, please, changing the speed limit, slowing it down whenever you're in traffic and the cars are in front of you and back of you, that's just not the time to say I'm going to slam on my brakes and slow down real quick to speed limit.
right, Don hit that spot I always hit over here where it goes to 45, and since I was doing it every day, I would immediately hit the stalk up to 50 as soon as I felt her start to slow. I get what he means. This light here naturally stops and slows the traffic, but the car does it right exactly at the speed limit and sign, and that it makes other drivers irritated. We're in traffic with a F-150 Lightning this morning.
Yeah, I think that's the first one that I saw in the wild that I spotted myself. I mean, Marianne and Johnny have pointed them out to me, but I actually spotted that one first.
We have have kept our time to the supercharger. So hopefully we'll start making time now.
Yeah. That
was the slowest part of our trip, coming up 401.
Yeah.
I would say traffic was summer light. You know, the school year's over. I would say traffic wasn't as heavy as some mornings on school mornings. You know, we were an hour later than I normally drive in, but normally I'm seeing the cars, you know, coming inbound when I'm leaving, and it's really backed up. So I'm basing my estimation on that. We've just been chatting along. Nothing too interesting to talk about on the road or FSD. We are 5 minutes out from the supercharger now. There's going to be either 5 or 6 of us from Tesla Triangle owners, our local group and friends of Tesla drivers. We should have each model represented today, at least one car. And anyway, most of the group is stopping at the supercharger on the way in. The event starts at 10, and we really ought to be there at least, well, 30 minutes would have been nice, but 20 minutes would be really good. Just enough time for the guys to throw up the tent behind the cars before the kids start coming past. But it's pretty casual over there, so it's all good. Looks like we need to charge for 15 minutes if we don't want to have to stop at the supercharger again after the event. So we'll see. It's not a big deal one way or the other. There's always the option down in Rocky Mount or Raleigh on the way home. Oh no.
Yeah, we're 3.8 miles
away. No. The interstates come to a stop up here.
No, it's only a short one, that yellow. So slow down. It's probably construction.
Yeah. They've added more. There's 20 superchargers here now. I guess David doesn't need charge. He's not plugged in. There's a doggy in that car. Yay. I don't know if we're going to stay long enough or not, but we're plugged in while we went and used the facilities. We're currently home at 24%. These were 250 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember, so I picked 1B, 1C, whenever it was.
The dead giveaway, if you're not sure, is labeled 1A through 1D and then 2A through 2D. That's a dead giveaway. We have this problem all the time. I'm just sharing our frustration. As we approached the exit to the supercharger, out of the gas station, because that is a gas station back there too, we knew we needed to turn right, but Ruby said to turn left. So we listened to Ruby and we turned left. And as soon as we made the left, she started telling us to make a U-turn. And we have this problem all the time where the very first turn is never in the right direction. Well, like it doesn't understand the orientation of the car relative to how you're supposed to turn. So often we end up making a U after the first turn. And I'm not saying it's any different on the phone, Google Maps, or anything. But this ability to help the driver make the very first turn is not good. Just making sure Ruby's willing to do the light show from this location. We do have tree. I do like this spot better than where we were here on the grass the last time, although there's a fire ant mound right there. If I get bit today, I'm going to be so upset. Okay, the guys are setting up the tent so we don't fade away today from the sun. Melt, we don't melt. Go Ruby, go. It never gets old for me, honestly. It just doesn't get old for me. Go Ruby, go! Trying to hold 2 cameras at one time. Don't everyone clap all at once now. There's nobody over here. Have the guys summoning their cars so that they, you know, are in a nice diagonal line across the way there. Yay, you guys did good.
Yeah, it's about a 2 to 3 week wait now for.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
You have to get in the car. Ramped up the
That's right, exactly. I told them to go line up, trunks open behind the driver's door and across between bad you know what. Oh, we got some little kids, we got some bigger kids today. First group. Ruby flaps, cell phones come out for recording. Thank you. Ruby says thank you. Don's over here talking charging. He's talking charging.
I would say having home charging.
He's asking him for license and registration. All right, so you get to do the magic trick, okay? You get to do the magic trick. Put your foot on, stand back. Put your foot on the brake.
On the brake, buddy.
Nope, just put your foot on the brake.
Come on, buddy.
Oh. No, thank you. Yes. Yes, if all these people are back out of the way, you may put your, just you though, on this side, the down button, the lower one. The lower one is down, the upper one is up. You just have to make sure everybody's out of the way. So don't open it back up till you're sure there's nobody, you're not going to hit anybody. Okay? So tap on Ruby's screen, the middle screen, the big screen, the big screen. Okay, X out of that window. Hit the car in the lower left-hand corner and press my door, the lower door, the driver door. It says driver. Press driver. So we got to back up. And now you've opened. Now press the upper door next to you, the Falcon Wing. The higher one, other side, that side, yep. This car makes a great car like a limousine because you get to control the doors and stuff for your passengers. And driver door. Read the one that says driver. There you go. We can do one more set. Anybody else want to sit? You guys pile out. Somebody else's turn. Okay. Go to the car in the lower left. And there's a button that says close all. Press close all. Now you are engaged and ready for your first drive. Just kidding. Maybe when you're a little older, huh? Or Donnie, he can go on the other side of the tent. Well, I don't care, but that works too. There you go. Poor Kendall's just trying to park his car and he's getting a lot of directions. Ruby's very busy today. All right, now there's a button that says close all. Hit close all.
Oh, yeah, locked in. We never go see you again.
Now you can individually open the doors back. There's no open all. But don't bop Ben. Don't bop Ben. Now you can do the front doors too. Do the front doors too. All right, who else needs a turn in the car? You may get in.
This one's mine. This one doesn't do all the.
I think it's going really good. We've had our third group of students come over now. They're getting stickers from Dawn and Kendall underneath the tent. The kids are enjoying sitting in the cars. It's all good. It's all good today, right? It's all good today.
So here we are. We're between waves of kids. They've been coming in and out on buses and such. But they've got booths set up and music going and things like that. It's really nice. Vendors here, sponsors of the thing, talking to the young people. There's Kendall. These are actually the interns, these young ladies. They are here attending the program all day, you know, helping out with the kids who come. Marianne came and spoke to the same program last year, So this is the second year for these for Marianne to come up here and do the interns. You know, these people are trying to get STEM type education and background. You get kids interested. Of course, Marianne loves giving the light show because Ruby's always the star. She had to reboot Ruby though. Ruby's given a little bit of frustration, but Ruby came through here.
We've got the interns with us now. The girls are working out here this summer, learning all kinds of good stuff, right? Yes, ma'am. You're right. Radiant Rays. You are the Radiant Rays. I like it. Hit the car in the lower left-hand corner. There's a little car symbol. There you go. And then hit the close all button. Doors are gonna close. Watch out. Now you are locked and loaded and ready for launch. Okay, is there air coming out right now? Tap the thermometer down in the bottom where you see the temperature. Just tap it. It's dulled out right now, right? Okay, I'm gonna summon them forward. Oh, okay. Was that pretty cool or what? Huh? You want to go back the other way? Let's make you go backward a little bit. We'll put you back where you came from. She's driving, but she's not driving. It's thinking about it. Yeah, it failed that time. Let me do it again. It will. It will. Every once in a while, she makes me do it twice. There she goes. All right, there we go. So we use that all the time when somebody parks too close to us, or we're cleaning the car and we want to move the tires so we can do them better, or it will also, like, I could tell her to go to the front of the building and she would try to figure it out. So, you ready to let somebody else in? You can hit the door buttons. Hit the door buttons on that center screen. Just hit the individual door buttons. There's no open all. We really need an open all. There you go. Good job. Now the lower ones, the lower two. That was the back two. There you go.
Wow, this is really nice.
Thank you. So everything is looking good. We've had a lot of visitors. We just did the interns. A lot of fun. The guys are surviving the heat and the sun, being under the tent, which works out great for us. We're in code red up here. We got some serious air quality issues today. Zeb just gave a brief performance demonstration. I am taking a minute to walk around. Everybody's eating right now, so there's a little less kids coming by. Mosine says she really wants an electric vehicle for the center up here, but they weren't able to grab on to, well, a fast charger and an electric vehicle, but they were not able to grab onto any of the Volkswagen settlement money that the state was allocated, which I would have thought they would have qualified up here for sure. Jared's garden looks like he's got some good stuff going on here. They got a place to have a fire, they got a place for presentations, they got lots of other vendors here. Like my favorite place in North Carolina to visit, and I gotta go back soon. Ruby is up again. I see you. Ben's such a good sport. She's not done yet. I've lost track of how many times I've done it today. I'm having to move her forward or backward a couple inches, put her in drive and then park to get her to do repeatedly now. But she is awful close to those trees, and the metal sometimes when it gets hot on summer days will slow her down from wanting to do her thing. So. right. It cleans up pretty good with unscented baby wipes or a wet washcloth. Hang on a second. So can you tap the screen, the big screen, not the one in front of you, and hit the car icon in the lower left-hand corner. Lower left-hand, the small little car icon. That's actually, they've not found that. And then hit the close. If Ben moves out of the way, you can hit the close all button. Yep. Just don't bop it. There you go.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
These guys are excited about the in-car games. I like Beach Buggy too. It's a lot like Mario Kart. I'm a Mario Kart person. I can't help it.
Yeah, me too. I grew up playing.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, anything you want.
Like, do you get tired of having to stop for charging and find charging spots?
Never.
Never?
Well, first off, I charge every night at home. So there's very few days I have to find a charger. I did drive my son from Raleigh to Charlotte earlier this week, and I stopped one time between the house and Charlotte for 15 minutes so I could use the bathroom and get me something to drink.
Huh?
And I plugged in while I was in the store, and technically I needed about 20-25 miles worth of charge to complete the trip, but that was no sweat. That went pretty easy. So I started around back an hour and a half ago, and two of the ladies at one of the booths said, please take us and show us your Tesla. So I turned around and brought them back, which was awesome, and I really enjoyed them. And I'm not upset I didn't get to see more of the booths, but I didn't get to see more of the booths. And the air quality here, it visibly looks not good. We're all doing okay, but still. So Solar Fest, October the 5th, 10 to 2, we'll be back. There's a few less kids here today, but it's a different thing in the summer. October the 5th will be a school field trip day, lots of activity buses, but we had great smaller interactions with people today, which is always a little more, which is pleasant because we get to spend individual time. We don't have to rush through, etc., etc. So it's been a great day. Ruby is putting out cool air on us. Every time the kids came and sat in the car, I put the air on the kids, so people could sit in the car comfortably. I'm not noticing any degradation in air temperature. So yeah, it's cold air coming. It's cold air coming out, and it's cooling down. Is it cooling down as fast as Jules? Oh, I don't know, maybe not. But it's a totally different system, and it was rebuilt after our track experience. So I'm thinking she's got plenty of coolant, but we're not home yet, so we'll see. But right now, for her to have cooled down the whole to where we're comfortable in less than 5 minutes, I'm good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're gonna swing into the supercharger and charge long enough to use the facilities and get something cold to drink. We can get home at 15% without stopping, but we're going right by there. It's an easy on, easy off, so we're stopping. And we are following my favorite wrapped Model 3. This iridescent wrap, I love it. Yeah. I love it. So we had a good day up there. It ended just a smidge early. It's 1:30 p.m. Yeah. It technically went until 2. They're having the next Solar Fest in October the 5th. So I will organize a group to come back for that.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. Don here in Halifax, North Carolina at exit 168 along I-95. There's I-95 right there. This is super easy. Nice foods available, Dunkin' Donuts. There's also plenty of convenience store there, obviously at a gas station. This used to be a 12 version 3 of superchargers, but Tesla has expanded it and added 8 more. There are now 20 superchargers here at this stop. Really nice stop, one of my favorites. And what's really good about this, besides the fact that there are other CCS type chargers here, this company is really nice. They actually give you and put trash cans behind all the superchargers, and I use the squeegee and I clean my windshield. I've got to give this one, I know ratings get tough, but it's at least a 7. I think it may not be open in 24 hours, but it might be If it is, I definitely say it deserves a 7. Anyway, now you know.
Well, we're back to slightly cleaner air. It's only code orange here instead of code red. I swear my eyes and my throat feel irritated from being outside at the solar farm. I'm sure it'll be okay in a few hours, but I guess I wanted to say that a ton of the kids asked today how much the cars cost, and I think it's a really good, well, first off, I never answer that question exactly. I tell them to go out to Tesla.com and play with the configurator, and then I tell them enough that they need to stay in school and do well. That's my standard answer. And then I said, you know, with the $7,500, the Model 3 is less than the cost of the average U.S. vehicle now, which I think is in the 50s. So that's at least a good story.
Yeah, they don't know how much new cars cost anyway.
Right, exactly. It's funny that they asked that, but I use it as an opportunity. Instead of treating them like, I don't want to, you know, that's not a question you really go up to people and ask, but I try to use it as an educational incentive, right? If you want nice things, you're going to have to stay in school and apply yourself. Whatever that school may be, college or tech school or whatever, but you're going to have to
pick a skill.
Pick a skill and apply yourself at the skill to be successful going forward. So other questions we had today was, does it drive itself? I got to ask that a lot. And I explained that there are driver assistance features, and the car is keeping in its lane, and, you know, with the full self-driving beta is putting on the turn signal and making turns and all of that stuff. But I have to keep my hands on the wheel and my eyes on the road. And I talked about the cabin camera and how it is really a good thing if the car doesn't sense you're paying attention for a long enough time, that it should pull itself over and stop and prevent you from having a bad accident because you had a health emergency or you fell asleep behind the wheel. So that was good. Let's see what else. Well, they oohed and awed over the white seats, and they asked if all the cars had white seats, and then we showed them some of the cars have black, and said we did not have a beige car, but I think, right, you can still get a beige interior, but not the silver interior. And Kendall was there with his pretty silver 3. Let's see what else. Somebody called my car a unicorn today because it has the center console in the back. I wasn't offended. It was one of our friends. I wasn't offended. I actually thought it was kind of cool. I never thought about it like that before. I wonder if a la carte you could still really talk Tesla into putting it in if you wanted it. I understand why the majority of people didn't want it. Right? Truly, I do, but I've never regretted it, not once. And I do think if we really wanted it out of there, the carpet would look funny, but there's no electronics to it or anything. Let's see, what else? What did you get asked? Don talked to one set of kids. I got a picture about charging and the charging cable. Zeb had brought out his charger and threw it up on the table so we could show them.
Yeah, we talked about charging, plugging in, the convenience of that, and the cost of electricity, and the concept that the more miles you drive, probably the more important it is to have an electric car, because the cost per mile is very beneficial.
Yeah.
And that you leave, the key thing to remember, if you charge at home, every day when you leave home, you have plenty of charged car, so that realistically throughout the day is you don't ever think about charging. That it's just like your cell phone, you know, the car has enough charge to get through the day with no problems. And they sort of understood it.
Right. We did have a wide mix in ages of kids today, from adults. Basically kindergarten, first grade, all the way up to Don's age. You old fart, you.
Yeah, we had a couple.
We could have sold a Tesla today.
Yes. Zeb thinks he did sell one.
Yep. One of the guys that works for C4EE, he really wants. He says, I work here. Energy, you know, solar farm, I need a Tesla. I need, you know, yes, I said I totally agree. A lot of them asked how fast would it charge? How long did it take to charge? And, you know, my answer is always, it depends on where you charge it. and also how many miles you've driven since the last time you charged it, and explaining that, you know, they come over and they understand, and this was an adult, that it's an electric vehicle, yet I opened up the trunk and they were like, well, where's the engine? Well, I think sometimes people use the word engine and motor synonymous. Like I use cement and what is the other? Concrete. Don fusses at me. It's not cement, it's concrete, or it's not. I'm like, those two words in my vocabulary are the exact same thing, and don't try to teach me the difference. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. It's either asphalt or it's cement or concrete, or anyway. So, but when I opened up the front, because somebody asked to see, they'd heard about the front trunk, you know, like no motor being there. Well, one of the kids said, oh, I, you know, can put my groceries in there, or somebody said that, but it was really like, where's the engine? And I'm like, well, remember, it's an electric vehicle, so there isn't an engine, and the motors are, you know, between the wheel, on the axle for the wheels, in that general area. So yeah, there was good questions today. The kids are usually quite willing to talk to us because they're hoping we'll let them sit in the car, which of course we did. We did let them sit in the car. So yeah, it was good. We had a good amount of Tesla people there, and we had, you know, it was very instrumental. With Ben was on the other side of Ruby, and he was helping the kids with the doors on that side of the car a lot. And Ruby, I was never not able to do the light show. Every time I rebooted once, and I also found that if I just moved the car forward or backward a few inches, putting her in drive and back in park seemed to help. But I knew about the heat affecting the door sensor, and you got to think about it too. The wings are up, pointed directly at the sun overhead at noon. There's no more heat that could ever come on them. I almost probably, you know, I wanted to leave the car open so I wasn't running the AC, so it wasn't getting hot, and so Ruby looked pretty for everybody to come over. But having the wings all the way up meant they were getting the maximum amount of solar gain on the metal. So but I was never not able to do the light show. I did have to hold the button to let two people out of the back one time, and Kendall was amazed because he was actually in the seat behind the front passenger. He was in the right rear, or the right middle, and the door literally came out like 3 inches and went straight up. That's how serious that articulation is. And then it finally was willing to open the flap, and I told it to always open at that location, because at the solar farm we're never going to be where it's going to matter if her wings open. That's the only place I think I've ever done. I was like, just open already. But there was a tree above her, and the shadow from the tree and the sun, it could have been impacting it at that point. Anyway, so all was good. I would have been disappointed if the heat had prevented me from doing the show at some point, but it didn't. And yeah, we talked to people of all ages, and it was good. I always have fun at these things. Don and I are both talkers. We're both used to customer support stuff, and we're both talkers and used to being asked questions and stuff. So it just, you know, it works for us. And everybody else that was there with us today has, you know, done events or whatever, and is good at talking with people too. Yeah. All of the people had helped out, I think, up at Tesla during the delivery this week. So, well, you can see here at South Park, just the other side of the intersection, they've put up the plastic fencing. The only people that are allowed to park at the community center the night of the festivities, which is Saturday night, the 1st, are people with disabilities. And there's parking basically on the other side of this building in a field, and you can park downtown and walk. You can park at Fleming Park, is not too far. I mean, Dawn and I certainly could walk it less than a mile up the road, and there's a lot of parking over there. So I guess they figure there's less parking at South Park than Fleming Loop. So not opening up South Park and holding it here is good, and then people can park at Fleming Loop and walk. It's a sidewalk the whole way. And traffic is slowed down with street parking that night too, so it's pretty safe. And I think well lit. The one year we had the hot air thing the hot air up at Fleming Loop, walking down the sidewalk back to the neighborhood was a little, wasn't as bright, but I think they fixed that now. I think there's good lighting all the way between the two parks. So anyway, the guys were working again today. Obviously, we weren't here to walk through, and we'll be going someplace else tomorrow, most likely. I'll look when we go past the trail, but you know, with the heat, it just depends on what time we go and several other factors. You gonna take me in here so I can see?
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, there's the barricades for ball field 3, because it's really important that people don't run onto the field or too close where the fireworks are. But they have taken the tape down on the trail, so until the fireworks people show up and they close the trail, currently you are allowed to walk the trail. But when the fireworks go out in the field, when they roll the cart with the fireworks and the truck and stuff out there, then they'll close the trail off, because they just don't want anybody near there. So we have Ruby's interior set to 71, and the app is telling me it's at 70 in here, and we've been perfectly cool the whole way home. So I'm gonna stop talking about Ruby. I don't know what that momentary glitch was that one day, but I probably should have tried to reboot to make sure it persisted, because it could have been a software thing with the fan was on that day, but you know, it just wasn't, I don't know, something happened that day and it's not persisted. So I'm closing out the problem with the air conditioner. We've supercharged on a 90-degree day with no problems until sometime in the future where there might be some other problem, but there's not a problem now.
Yep.
All right, take me to the house. I'm ready.
Good.
I went in the house and dropped off my purse and water bottles and stuff. But anyway, I come home and my buddy, he's right here on my back step where he's supposed to be. And now Stripe is too close in between my feet. Hey, bud. It's a good boy. This is a good boy. Good boy. I got into Ruby to take Johnny to Taekwondo, and I looked at the battery indicator and I was like, 73 miles, what did I do today? And then it was like, oh yeah, that's right. We drove back from the Virginia border essentially today. I've got plenty to go up to Taekwondo and back, and even keep climbing on. Don and I had a little something to eat. I made us some bacon, egg, and cheese chaffle sandwiches. And Don got a decent nap, and I fell asleep for a few minutes and woke myself back up. So I didn't really get too good of a nap, but maybe a little bit. Anyway, I finished up yesterday's video. I'm so behind, but I'm going this week. I mean, I just knew to tie a knot and hang on for this week. Next week is a little slower. It's all good. Having like upload speed problems at the house. The speed is really slow. It was faster in the dorm room. So I asked Dawn to reboot the cable modem, the router, while Johnny and I are away from the house, and see if that helps. It's an upload to Google Drive, so it should restart itself after he does that. I'll remind him in a bit, just in case he's forgetting. You guessed it. I'm going into Walmart to walk around. Coming in from Taekwondo, and Johnny noticed the hawk down on the ground. That is definitely our hawk. Huh. I wonder what's interesting him there. Could be a lot of things. Alright, well, he's up in the tree now. That was nice to get to see him. Yeah, also it's possible it was one of the juveniles, although I think the feathers looked adult. I'll look, you know, Johnny was holding the camera. I'll look probably when it's up on the big screen, I'll confirm to myself that was one of the adults. But the juveniles would have a little more white still at this time in their development. And they usually, but it's about the weekend that they fly out of the nest every year, around 4th of July weekend, I think. So who knows?